Welcome to On the Chain. This is Jeff here. Here by myself. We are going to dive in head first, right into the shallow end. We got a lot of things we want to cover in a short period of time to do it. And a huge shout out to President Trump. What an amazing rally happened today over there, getting ready for the big inauguration tomorrow. And as things go, and as you could probably see on the thumbnail today, we're going to talk about the crypto golden age. We're going to talk about XRP. We're going to talk about Bitcoin. It is relevant in some level, and we're going to get into it. But XRP rocketing to the moon, crypto golden age, and Trump. And guess what we're doing? Guess what we are doing? We're getting ready for the four greatest years in the history of this country because things are getting ready to heat up. Things are getting amazing right now. He's not even in yet. One more day. Let's hold in there till tomorrow at noon, and the rest is history. And we're going to see so much winning. We're going to have more winning than we saw in the first 4 years of Trump. We had a big lull in the last 4 years. Trump, the only and the greatest crypto supporter in government, crypto president. We have a crypto Congress. We have a crypto friendly Senate. So if you guys are ready to kick this thing off, I'm ready to kick this thing off because we are going to get fired up. So if we're getting fired up, you know what that means? This is what it means right here. Let's go. That's what that means. Big shout out, everybody. Chime in to where you guys are tuning in from. That's what I'm talking about. Tune in where you guys are tuning in from. Mike Maroth. Make sure you log into XRP.cafe and accept that beautiful, badass Yeti that you won not that long ago. So we got Mike Maroth and actually McDreamy, but McDreamy's over on Discord. But there's actually 3 XRPs just lingering in the looking for their owner column because we transferred them over and they're sitting there somehow in like a purgatory spot. But Mike, that was December 29th. So he's just sitting there all lonely and doesn't know exactly where to go or what to do. But get ready, get your word of the day ready. I actually have to pull it up because that's the one thing that I forgot to pull up here. So let me get the drawing giveaway tool rolling here. Give me 1 second. And you guys know what the word of the day is. So hold back on that word of the day while I get this giveaway page up and running. It takes 2 seconds to do that. And so you guys know the word. It is now ready to go. There's already 4 entries in it. Why? Because it is retroactive. That's how great that giveaway tool is. It already picks up when you type it in. And I saw the king. The king's already got that going. The king, big winner of a cool Lil Prowler Yeti from the other day. Check it out. Check out the king. The king swapped out his crown for that Lil Prowler. Now, the Lil Prowler in the white badass Yeti's white tribe, the Lil Prowler clan, those guys they're small, they're cuddly, they're in there somehow in the undergrowth of the woods. But if you run into them, you don't want to because those guys are absolutely deadly. So keep going on. Let's keep posting, which will be amazing. So let me see this here. AP Cool J, your dreams are an illusion, dude. Trump is killing crypto. Trump's not killing crypto. Crypto is about to skyrocket like we've never seen it before. Crypto was actually getting ready to die in the U.S. with this current administration. We have an SEC chair that was trying to obliterate cryptocurrency, and there's proof on the ground. We can go through that. And actually, the first thing we're going to do today, so I'm glad AP Cool J brought that up because it's really poignant, and we are going to pull up a tweet that both Chip and I commented on, and it was actually from John Deaton. John Deaton has been posting reaching out to Trump and Elon Musk. And, I've seen his posts, kind of ongoing, all about the new direction that crypto's taking. You know who else knows that crypto is moving into this golden age? And that's Brad Garlinghouse of Ripple. Why? Because Brad Garlinghouse predicted back, I would say, throughout 24, going back around like 23 to 24, we started noticing some changes. But even if we go back and you listen to some of the things that he says, how he says it, you could tell that his kind of political economic mindset is a little different from much of the wokeism, so to speak, amongst many of the employees over at Ripple. But we saw this major turning point, and then October, it was galvanized when he was being interviewed, and he said the next administration is going to be crypto friendly, and here we go. And so, you don't have to go too far to really dig into those that are actively involved in the space. And then if you take somebody like an Elon Musk and others that are getting ready to clean house and get serious about what's going on with this country. Why? Because as we innovate and we start creating the environment and we reduce the toxicity and we create an environment which is business friendly, innovation friendly, technology friendly, then we're moving in a very positive, correct direction. So Chip is actually watching the Bills, if you can believe that. The Lions lost, unfortunately, so the Lions are out, which it really kind of sucks. So Chip has an opportunity to win and win big with the Bills. So let's hang in there for him and let's see what's going on. Is it 8 degrees in Columbia or at Columbia in Missouri? That is crazy. So let's see here. We've got Tina Hall just popped in. We got Missouri, which is very cool. We got forget crypto. Trump is going to reveal the deal with that, and he talked about the Kennedys. He talked about a number of different things that are going to be revealed in the near future. So that's going to be really key. We've got Chad coming in from Celebration. It's really cool. We have people that are coming in from all over the world, which is great. All over the world, including like Colorado, which is -13 in Colorado. We got again, Colorado, Missouri, we got Belgium. And I know we have a bunch from down under over in Australia. And I know we have UK in here. So we got people tuning in from all over, including Florida, which is very, very cool. So let me scroll down through here. It's great to see Tina Hall. Tina, we haven't seen you in a while. So I'm glad that you've made it back on. And I can't believe that it's 32 degrees in Houston. Every time people in Texas tell me it gets cold in Texas, I'm always a little bit shocked, that it happens maybe during the day. Like here, last weekend, we're out by the fire. I think it was like 54 degrees. The one night was like 63, so it's kind of nice down here when it gets a little bit chilly. Yesterday, I was doing some work, tearing roots out and trees and stuff like that from the side yard, trying to get it prepped. And it was like overcast, breezy. It was really nice out this morning. Same thing, out washing the cars early, and it was just really, really nice. And so, tell you what, if you start doing that, like it's so therapeutic. You can just like disengage, put the music on, and out just washing the cars and just focus on making sure the cars are shiny down to the detail of your wheel rims, and then you open the, just around every aspect, and just to see the shine at the end. It's really kind of nice, actually. I don't know. I've been getting some enjoyment out of that lately, which is great. So here we go. All right, let's move on to crypto. We don't need to talk about cleaning cars and tearing out roots out of the yard because that's not as relevant. But I want to get into some of the things that Jim D's talking about over here. But it's great. And Dakota Shipley's here as well. and haven't seen Dakota also in a little bit, but it's always great to see people popping in that we haven't seen in a while. And Dakota saying, I hope all the OGs are enjoying these XRP gains. 7 years too long, man. Think about everybody that came into this space back in 2017, people that have been in it way before that. But 2017, 2018 drew in a lot of people that ended up kind of close to the all-time highs in that $3 to $3.60 or $3.80 range. Some were on the way up. I kind of came in 2017 where it's crazy, where you kind of see, that price point back in 17 when it was in that 19 to like 25 to 27 cent range, seeing it rack up, to all-time highs, and then seeing the other side of the cliff when it ended up going back down into the 20s again, and having opportunities to get in, to buy more, to see development of the market, to kind of diversify into other things, and then say, well, I wish I didn't diversify into that, and then make all sorts of cool mistakes and lessons, and you get to learn stuff along the way. But Tina Hall also, 2017. It's amazing, how long all of us have been, in it and been together, through the live streaming, whether it was when I had first started back with the HODL report and then migrated to the HODL review and Chip with the XRP minute. And then when we started on the chain, bringing it all together, and just experiencing everything with you guys has just been really, really amazing. I want to get to this comment also. I'm going to do this now. Let's kind of reference some of the things that are going on in the chat because it's engaging. Then we're going to go over to this Deaton post and some of the comments that both Chip and I had on it. But let's pull this one up from Sooner Mao 5. And thank you for the support. Hey, by the way, you guys want to help, you say, how can I support on the chain? One way, just show up and engage, comments, all that great things. But we have a number of ways to help support, to make sure we keep the lights on. And it's awesome. You obviously can help over here through YouTube. You can go over to XRP.cafe, engage directly on the XRPL, and have some fun with NFTs. We have both the badass Yetis White Tribe and the Blue Tribe, and we're going to be giving away one of the White Tribe today, which is going to be great. So we'll be going through that. So there's a number of ways, and you can get the badass Yetis coffee, which is outstanding. And Mike can attest to that. My preference, I like Obsidian Bold. I like the dark, rich roast. But we'll talk about that later. Sooner said, I honestly don't know how to feel about the Trump meme coins. I think the administration will do great things. Yeah. And I was talking to Chip about this, and I'm sure Chip would have, similar kind of commentary. The timing of it seemed a little off. I don't think it was a, Trump specific, project. I'm sure, just overall, but the point is Trump has branded everything. Today at lunch, parents came over. Guess what we did? We opened up a bottle of Trump wine. So my wife had bought a case of Trump wine, and we've gone through different ones. This one was really good. It was a reserve. It was a Monticello. And I can tell you more specifically. Let me see. I'll tell you exactly which one it was. And I'll tell you my point on this, kind of my feelings and, timing, marketing. I also got a text today that said, hey, good news. This is, you're talking to Trump right now. And it was actually more fundraising. But, and this is, Trump is always, so this one is New World Reserve 2021. It was, estate bottled Monticello red wine, which is majority kind of Merlot with a little bit of Cabernet Franc and then Malbec, and there was one other, I can't remember the fourth blend in it, but we had two other Trump wines before. Didn't like them 100%. They weren't my taste. There was a white. I'm not into white wines. That's what we had opened. But this one, I can tell you, I liked it. It was really good. It's obviously a red wine, but that's what we did today. So my point, Trump wine, if you go to the Trump resort down in Doral, man, they got all sorts of things. You can get the amenities, the different shampoos and the soaps as well, that are Trump branded. There's the Trump watch. There's all sorts of things. So, you think about it. If you got the Trump vineyards, they're Trump branded everywhere. So, hey, have a Trump meme coin. You know what? It's a meme coin. Buy it. You know where the money's going. It's going to help, support the cause a little bit further. And you get something that's kind of cool. You get a Trump NFT. So that's it. That's where it starts. That's where it ends, or you get the meme coins anyways. I don't know about the NFT part, but you get the Trump meme coins. So that's it. Sir John is saying, whatever happens to Trump coin, it bought me a Submariner Starbucks today, wearing it ATM and toasting Trump. There you go. That's what it got you. So that's pretty good. Everyone's excited. So Thomas Brennan, what is up, Thomas? I've been in since late 2019, making mistakes along the way, but learned to relax and not trust Gary and letting my XRP alone. Man, I'll tell you what, that is the hardest thing, right? Is learning the lessons, whether it's in stock or it's in crypto. Buy, sell, never try to guess the market. It's easier to buy and hold. You can look for certain exits. Like if you feel passionate about it and you say, hey, you know what? I've made the gains I want to make. I'm out. Then, you never look back. That's the one thing I've learned. Let's say, back when it was Twitter, I had bought and sold Twitter like 3 or 4 times, made money each time, made it on the way up, sold it down, bought in, sold it. And I was happy with the gains. Facebook, which is now Meta, I think, I don't know what it's trading at right now. Let me look it up. Let's see what Meta is trading at. And I sold it because I didn't want to hold their stock anymore. And I'd held it for a little while and wrote it up, pretty nicely. But let me look at this one as an example. So sitting at 600 right now. I sold when it was probably around 350. Maybe it was 300, 350. And made decent margin on Facebook at the time. Completely happy. I look at it now and I could say, shit, I wish I would have kept it and wrote it to 600. I would have twice the profits right now. But you know what? I took that and put it into something else. Like right now, personally, I like Palantir, and there's other stocks that I'm sure, and the same thing in crypto, right? Going to diversify. Do you hold? How long do you hold it for? Do you ride it for the long term, or do you look for your outs and you move on? Crypto, I look at crypto where, you're putting it in 2017, with some of the investments, but along the way, I've made mistakes. I've lost money. I was into Celsius. I lost Bitcoin, which was probably the most painful lesson that I've ever had in this space. When I lost my holdings over there and had to wait for the lawsuit to play out, and then getting back like 60% of my holdings, which from the valuation of back then, and kind of dispersed in little bits, but at least I got something back. But it was a very, very painful mistake. That yes, you make these mistakes along the way, and that's how it is, unfortunately. There's just so much. Here's another one. Hardest lesson: setting a stop loss. Man, setting a stop loss on stock, or just, a trailing stop on the way up, understanding what your sell-off points are, what your gain points before you go into it. So if hey, I'm going to buy and hold, I don't care, right? I'm buying it, I'm holding it, whatever it's going to be. I'm going to keep accumulating or buying for the next 10 years. What it is in 10 years, it is in 10 years. We'll look at it. Obviously, you got to be smart, because if the market shifts and changes, maybe there's a way out, maybe there isn't. But you're buying and holding. You're anticipating long-term growth. Versus if I'm looking for an entry point, I'm looking for an exit point, I want to put a trailing stop on it. I also want to know that if I'm putting a trailing stop, I have to know exactly what that closeout margin is, So whatever that drop in percentage is, so if that trailing stop is going up as soon after you bought it and it's a loss, then you have to be willing. You have to, when you go into it, let's say your buy point is 10 and you say, you know what, my loss percentage, I'm okay if I lose 15 or 20%. Well, you know what? When I buy it, the first thing I have to do is make sure I'm protecting myself and setting that stop loss. So if it dips by 20%, it's going to sell out at 8, and that's my low point. And if it flash dips below 8, hopefully it gets caught. But if it kind of is gradually, dropping off, goes down to 7 or 6, close me out at 8, and I've secured at my 20% loss. Same thing on the trailing stop on the way up, that when you're making gains, that you have to figure that out too. You always have to make sure that you have it in place so that you're protecting it, but you want to obviously keep riding it. So you put that trailing stop on it. So as it's making gains, it keeps going up, and you have to make sure that you're comfortable with that margin. And eventually there's going to be a point where it's going to stop you out, and you're going to take your gain and you're going to be happy with it. And then you're going to move on. And those are the hardest lessons to learn. Otherwise, you only lose when you sell, and it's tough. It's really, really tough, to figure it out. Adrian, gonna take profits, relax, take a break away mentally from all markets. That too, never a bad investment, just a bad trade. There you go. That's true too. All sorts of crazy things. Sleepy Cato. The things that shock me are people who are selling their XRP and putting into Trump coin. Yeah, I wouldn't. That's the craziest thing. I don't think, it's necessarily a rug pull, but again, they're meme coins, right? Every other meme coin that's out there, there's going to be, it's all based on FOMO, 100%, every single meme coin. So it's other people's money at the end of the day. That's what people, I hope, understand, that there, and it's easier to take advantage of it if there's people that are buying in and dumping and then dropping, or buying and then dumping. There's going to be people out there. ABC meme coin, doesn't matter. There's a higher probability that people can take advantage of it. If it's lower volume, low price, then people come in, but it's other people's money. That's where the money's coming from. So if you have 100 people all putting $10 in, and you come in and and then it goes up and you're selling it, whatever, it goes up to, it was $10, goes up to 20, and you sell, someone's buying it at that $20 price point. It's not just somewhere, out in the cloud. Someone is a bag holder at the end, especially if it drops back down to 10. The people that bought it 20, or they sold it to other, you sold it to someone that's going to hold it. It's such a crazy thing, but that's every other stock, except when there's big institutions playing the game. Then you have like the Kramers of the world that are hyping and promoting things because it's boosting the institution value, and then, they're dumping onto the bag holders or other retail investors coming in after the fact. It's so crazy. Sir John said, every single OG who tells you he never made a mistake is a liar. We all made mistakes, some of them more expensive than we ever wanted to make, yet we are still here because we learned and survived. Man, I can tell you, it's, again, it's painful when you lose, big value, anything, and especially when you don't get the full value back, and then you watch it like with Bitcoin. I'm looking at that. I'm like, holy crap, at $105. And, I didn't even get a fraction of the, of what I had from, previously. But then you just got to leverage it. You got to, take a deep breath and you move on with life, and that's it. And so that's it. That's the point. Visual vendetta. I'm buying on the hourly chart. There you go. Everyone, you have to have a strategy. You have to understand your strategy, and you have to be very, very clear that you understand, like Visual Vendetta is talking about the hourly chart. If you don't know what that even means, don't even try it, and if you don't have any other strategy in and around that chart to figure out how you're even going to buy it or value it, or anything like that. I read an entire book, and I forget what the exact trade was called, but it was basically buying undervalued stocks. Not well, I would say uh, under trying to think of the right terminology of it. It was called they were like rubber band stocks. So they were stretched to the limit. They had value. A lot of the metrics stacked up, but they were so low in their price point and certain other metrics. There are all these like key metrics put into an Excel spreadsheet. You had to do research. You had to find stocks that hit on specific target points, whatever those were. And then once you found those stocks, you kind of went through them and you'd sort them a little further. And you wanted the ones that were stretched the furthest. And those were the ones that I was buying. And for the most part, I was doing really well for a while, but it was a daily thing. So it was a daily grind where if you're doing other things and working and you can't stay on it every single day, it became really difficult. But for a while, I was winning like, 7 out of 10 trades. I was winning on it, but it was you would have to be like, hey, I'm committed, going full time. And that wasn't my thing, but it was fun, but that's where like Visual Vendetta buying, you gotta have that strategy. And I think that's really, really important. Um, Ken Herrera. Um, XRP has utility. For that reason, it'll climb rapidly once regulatory steps are clear, while speculative tokens, including the new Trump coin, will continue to fluctuate. Right, because those are 100% speculative, right? Based on how you sit, and it's based on FOMO and FUD, and you're going to chase it up, you're going to chase it down, and it's a collectible. At the end of the day, the meme coin. Some of them are. It's like Dogecoin. What is Dogecoin? Like, what is it really tied to? It's not really tied to anything other than it's Doge. And the only platform that's really actively incorporating it into full utility is Flare. And Flare found a path for that. But there's a lot of coins like that are out there. Look at the Shiba. Shiba Inu. There's nothing wrong. I hold Shiba Inu. I got it way, way back. And, and that's it, so, and I watched what they did. They were a meme coin. Then they launched the Shibarium. Then they started building in and around it. But to Sleepy Kato's point, or Ken Herrera's point, finding projects that are solutions to real world problems that actually have the technology that can actually do something to where you can actually build full utility. That's where the space is going. Everything else, the meme coins, it's like the .com era where if you had a .com, and we talk about this all the time, but there's a .com after your company name or in your company name or part of your project, or you had a .com back in the 90s, early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, then there were, tons of money floating your way, and everyone's happy, right? Paper money. Same thing. It's kind of paper money. And then when you get into the real world aspect of it, when we get regulatory clarity in the US, that with the new administration, meaning new House, new Congress, House and Senate, presidency, we have a good Supreme Court in place. Just overall, we have a very, solid outlook on the progress of this country. You have Doge, not the Dogecoin, but the Department of Government Efficiency run by Elon Musk. If he can cut, 70% of the fat workforce, we're going to be in a great place. Department of Education, going back to the states. That's no longer going to be a federal government task any longer. We're going to start seeing, and we're going to start getting lean and mean. But at the same point, as that happens, from a government perspective, that's open and accepting of innovation, that wants to drive innovation, that wants to drive economic progress. That's the Trump administration. We've seen it. We know it. We saw it. We experienced it for 4 years. Drill, build, innovate, made in America, make America great again. Do the same thing if you're in a different country. I hope to God your politicians have the same passion and the same fortitude and the same insight, and the same energy and the same drive to make your country great again. Trudeau's gone in Canada. I hope whoever steps up to replace Trudeau wants to make Canada great again, has the exact same, fortitude and focus that we're going to have in this country, that they're going to have the same agenda overall, which is making Canada great for Canadians. And I hope it same thing in the European countries. I hope it's the same thing in the African countries. I hope it's the same thing in Australia and down in South America, because you know what? Argentina and El Salvador are moving in that direction. Many of the other countries in South America, like Venezuela, keep stepping their foot into the shit. They keep embracing socialism and totalitarian dictatorship style government. It never ends well. It's not good for the people, obviously. It's not good for the neighbors. This country was knocking on the door of socialism and that type of corruptive government. And it's been happening cross administrations for decades. Didn't just happen in the last 4 years. The last 4 years was a very, very clear picture as to why this country had to have a major shift, which is why people across the spectrum have been red pilled and have moved into the MAGA camp. Republicans, Democrats, independents, and people that are non-party affiliated are embracing the concept. Why? Because it's good for them. It's good for their family. It's good for the community. It's good for their pocketbooks. It's good for the future generations. And it's just a positive mindset. Forget the negative, toxic, mindsets. It's just not good for any of us, And so that's the direction that we have to go in. And that's it. It's so important. It really is. So I kind of went off onto a little bit of a tangent, might have turned some people off, but we want to get into crypto. We want to talk about why, is this country moving into the greatest 4 years? We touched on it a little bit, but there's more than that, right? We have to look back. We have to kind of see what has happened. We have to see what will be happening over the next 4 years. And that is what's going to be most important. So I look at John Deaton's tweet here. Both Chip and I ended up commenting on it because this Dennis Porter had said, massive breaking news. Massachusetts becomes the first state in the nation to have both Republican and Democrat support for a strategic Bitcoin reserve. However, that's not true. It's good. Texas was actually first. So Texas, a couple days ago, had also actually launched a bill to support a Bitcoin strategic Bitcoin reserve for Texas. We're starting to see states get into we're starting to see the states get into understanding the dynamics of the crypto space, becoming crypto friendly, understanding the necessity of a crypto strategic reserve. Let's use Bitcoin. It could be Bitcoin. I think you truly need a basket of coins. You can't just have a Bitcoin. I think you need to have a Bitcoin. I think you need to have XRP. I think they probably need to have Ethereum. They probably need to have a couple others in that basket. If it's 100% solely just Bitcoin reserve, I think it could, then it becomes a little bit more difficult, specific for the state, but to each his own, I guess, right? MicroStrategy, good example. What is it? 400,000 Bitcoin. I forget what they're up to now. A shit ton. So John Dean said, hey, look at that. First one in. So I like how Chip said, what's the fake Indian going to say now? Let's see who gets the bill first. Texas has one in the works too. My money's on Texas. I kind of agree with that because I also commented on Chip's statement, the fact that he said his money's on Texas. My money's on Texas also. I think they have a little bit of a better chance of getting it done because my response was Massachusetts letting Bitcoin into the reserves with a Dem-controlled governor, state, house, and Senate. That's about as likely as Boston declaring pineapple the official pizza topping. And so obviously Boston pineapple pizza, probably not going to happen. But hey, never say never. maybe Bitcoin just needs to show its progressive side. That was my comment over there, to that. I think, hey, you know what? It's good news though. I'm not trying to, squash the idea of it, the notion that it's bipartisan, that we're getting Democrats and Republicans that want to embrace it. It wasn't first. But let's look at, where we could potentially go with this. Federal government, Bitcoin, strategic Bitcoin reserve. States, let's say Texas, let's say Massachusetts, let's say Florida gets, and let's say all the states end up holding in their treasury. They have a strategic reserve of Bitcoin to show some stability. It could be really, really important, and it's game changing, to say the least, that they're even thinking along those lines. So I'm really happy just to see that that's kind of a notion that they're even considering it and that they're voting on it. Now, we'll take another sidestep because today must have been the day of John Deaton posts, because we found another one that had popped up. And I think this is important too, because as we get to a very friendly, crypto government, president, U.S. House, U.S. Senate, we have to look at some of the things, detrimental things that have happened over the past 4 years. And yes, many of them under Gary Gensler. All right. So Gary Gensler took it upon himself, his own initiative, to start to really dictate or write law, so to speak, on crypto. Why? Because, whoops, I just went over to the Ravens Bills. Let's see what the don't know what the score was here. Can we click it? Let's see, does it open up? There we go. We are, that's over under. Where are we at point wise? Is this it? There you go, right there. 21-19. Oh, well, there you go. Look at that. That's kind of crazy, right? No, oh, that was the touchdown. All right. So there you go. I'm sure I'm sure Chip is kind of on pins and needles right now and not so super enthusiastic on what's going on. Well, maybe he is enthusiastic, but I'm sure he's getting a little bit nervous here. So he wants the Buffalo Bills to win. All right, let's go back up to this. Oh, there we go. He is quick. Boom, 1921. Okay, so let's go back here. So John Deaton, this is really critical, right? So someone early on said Trump is the one that's going to destroy. What did he say? Who was it that said that? Let's see if I can go all the way back. Karma Carmichael's here. Where'd it go? Let's pull. Where did it go? Come on. Let's go all the way up. I might not find it. Oh, there it is. It was AP Cool J, right? XRP supporter. It's got the hat and everything. But your dreams are an illusion. Trump is killing crypto. Okay. So this is to that statement, right? I was going to get to it earlier. So this is the past 4 years. Let's see what's happened in the last 4 years to help and support crypto and see exactly where the administration went regarding crypto. And so let's look. So here we go. The day after Trump launches a presidential meme coin and after attending the inaugural ball where America's newly appointed crypto czar, David Sachs, declared the war on crypto over, promising America will usher in golden age of innovation. I can't help but reflect on the last 4 years. So let's look and see what happened. Now, this is John Deaton, right? Actively involved because he filed amicus briefs on each and every single one of these cases. And these cases were a huge money suck. So think about the energy, the focus, the money, everything that has been sucked out of the space from an investment perspective, just overall what it has done to development, innovation, and everything else in crypto, just from a forget money, focus, energy, etc. Right? And think about how it actually crushed a couple companies. And one of them specifically that we're going to look at that it devastated and crushed is Library. Library gone. Library completely dead. Like it was moving. It was developing. They actually had an amazing platform, video platform that was progressing and developing. We saw another one that was out there. What was it called? They built it on the XRPL, had a strange name to it. I think it was a food group or something. But anyhow, that one's gone. This one was crushed by the SEC specifically. But here's the amicus briefs that Deaton filed: Ripple, Library, and Coinbase. So what was John Deaton doing? He did it to represent users, developers, individual investors, and content providers. So John says, this is John Deaton. I'm sitting here thinking about the incredible waste of time, energy, money, and resources wasted during the last 4 years. Library.com, dead. Killed by bad faith regulators who followed through on their threat to bankrupt the small American company out of New Hampshire. Think about that, right? Their objective, Gary Gensler's objective, whose purpose in the SEC is to protect individual investors. That's it. Protect individual investor. They've decimated individual investors. As we know, billions of dollars of damage in XRP alone. Library, I don't even know what the number is. I know what it cost them. I know by putting the company out of business, it was extremely, painful and damaging. Just think about the damage to the space, what Jeremy Kauffman could have continued to add value with that Library platform. Now, consider this. No fraud was committed or even alleged. There was a very active Library community and ecosystem of users and content providers utilizing the platform. You know how I know that there were active content providers on it? Because Chip and I were on there. On the Chain was on Library. We had followers on Library. We're starting to build up and develop a following over on Library. And we had YouTube videos just automatically going over to Libraries. A very interesting, solution overall, and simple to use. Cinnamon was the other one. Cinnamon was built on XRP, and we tried and tried and tried, but it was going to take millions and millions and millions of dollars to get Cinnamon from where it was to another level. And the XRPL Foundation was not in a position to support them at the time, but I would have loved to have seen Cinnamon get millions of dollars, but they would have probably have had to go through a name change, because think about trying to log into Cinnamon and trying to remember how to spell Cinnamon, because most people don't know how to spell it. Is it one N? Is it two N's? Is it two M's? Or the one N at the end, two N's at the end. Super hard to tell, right? So Cinnamon, but it was a nice platform. They're doing some cool things. That died out, just lack of involvement from the community at large. Very difficult trying to take on YouTube at the time. Library was making a run for it and partnered, and they were pulling YouTube content, which was really cool, right? So think about how they crushed it. So John, go back to John. Library employees lost jobs. An American entrepreneur, Jeremy Kauffman, there he is right there, lost millions due to legal fees. Those millions are gone and will not be used for things like jobs, marketing, advertising, health insurance, research, development. Library's dead, murdered by a politically motivated, corrupt bureaucrat. So to AJ Cool J, whatever your name was there, AP Cool J, I think it was. This was under the last 4 years. The next 4 years being embraced by someone that is passionate about innovation and development. And maybe he was just saying it facetiously, I don't know. But for anyone joining in, Bitcoin, the stock market, the crypto market, XRP on its own has just absolutely, destroyed since November. November 5th, got elected. That week, stock markets started to rally. They've rallied from November through December into January. XRP sitting around $3.19 or $3.13, whatever it is. Bitcoin back to about 104, 105. Let's wait and see what happens on Tuesday. Tomorrow, I would say at 1 p.m., we're going to start seeing some positive growth and expansion like we've never seen before in the history, mainly because people need it. They want it. A majority of the population in the United States is on board with it. They want it. They need it. They want to see this country flourish. People around the world want it. They need it. They need a beacon of freedom. They need a beacon of economic growth. They need something to look up to. For years, until 2015, musicians, actors, and politicians groveled at Donald Trump's feet, loved Donald Trump, put him in music videos, put him on TV, put him in movies. Politicians groveled and begged for money. They all loved him. The moment he ran for office, all those fake people turned on him in an instant. And all the most loud, outspoken ones were the exact ones that were doing the groveling before. So think about that. There's a lot of context that has to go in to thinking and making a determination about where we're going and the direction we're moving in. Let's just take a minute of a pause here. There's a ton of stuff here from Deaton. I know we talked about a lot of stuff, kind of ranted on stuff, and now we got to get into the passion, but people are posting some really, really amazing content here, and I think it's really important. Crypto Navigator said we should all sue the SEC for the XRP lies and the library case. I would love to be able to see, that as a possibility, to go after Gary Gensler for purposely, with motivation, trying to decimate and undermine an entire economic class, right? And a specific target on the crypto development, on a specific technology, on a specific financial asset class, purposely. So Thomas Brennan said, if I can recall, there were two banks heavily invested in crypto. They were seized by the feds. One was solvent and what might have been mismanaged. That one of the, I forget the name of it as well, and it crashed. There was a major issue with it. There might have been some mismanagement that brought it to the scene, but a lot of it was because of what they were playing in, how they were playing, and they undermined the bank, and it was all done on purpose to crash it. DNI said, let's put out a Gensler meme coin. I like it. The logo can be a donkey's ass. Hey. All right, let's bald like Gensler. There we go. But I like it. Why not? Why not have a Gensler meme coin? People might hold it to the negative, which would be kind of cool. So let's go on. What did Zober say? Let's just congratulation. You're here, they're not. Yeah, screw them. Exactly. There we go. Crypto Navigator with Silverbank was holding all the liquidity for the crypto companies. That's what it was. Yep. That's the only place I could get a loan or that would hold their liquidity. They called in their day rate. That was it. That's right. Silverbank. A lot of people were holding with that. Ken's YouTube. Trump's people say he will sign 200 executive orders. He did say that, and he said from now he's also going to do it at rallies. He's going to hold some of these big rallies and do some executive orders. But he said there's a lot of them just have to undo the damage that the previous administration did with executive orders. So he has to undo executive orders that they put in place that were damaging to this country. So that is like step number one. So we'll see how all this will unfold. Trump himself said he will act on all at once. He did say that, and he reiterated that again today, that he's got to get it done. He said, we're going to do it tomorrow, because if we don't do it tomorrow, that there'll always be a reason as to why it gets put off. So he said, you take care of the business at hand that's critical, and you're going to do it now because it has to get done. So that's exactly what he said. All right. Let me move through this. Let's see. Zober said, no shilling. My friends, my family, they laugh it. Fine. And that's it. Let them laugh. And then you don't talk to them about it anymore. It's like, hey, fine. I told you about it, told you what I was doing. That's enough. I'm not gonna try to twist your arm or do anything else and try to convince you to do anything. Just know that that's the direction that we're moving in. The whole world's moving that way. But when they're going to get in, they're going to get in because they're going to get in because Bitcoin's at 105,000. They're going to get in when Bitcoin's 120,000. That's just how it's going to go. Bills 24, Ravens 19. There we go. SoFlo, sorry, Jeff, you have to rant for 2 hours. That's right. I got to do twice the work, and we have to do a drawing. I don't see any Yetis in here. So we got to type in Yeti. Let me see how many we got. Man, we only have 13. How is it possible that we only have 13 entries? We got to get that 13, got to get it up to 30, at least 20, because you guys can do that. Look at this. Entries, 13. And then all I have to do, hit that draw button, and we're going to give away a badass Yeti. And I'm picking out the badass Yeti. I was kind of searching through it, and I'm trying to figure out which would be the baddest of the badass Yetis to give out tonight. And I was looking through them, and I'm like, man, I've got, a couple lasts of some things to give away. And so I want to hold, and then there's some really, really cool ones. So I'm thinking about a bandit. I like the bandit with a scowl. This guy, I think this is the one right here. Either that or the yuck, because he's kind of comedic relief. But I'm thinking the bandit, right? Because it has to be badass, has to go along with everything that's going on tonight. So this is it right here. This is the badass Yeti that we're giving out tonight. And he is badass, right? Look at that. If you look at him, all right, look at that. Look at the scowl. Look at that. Just mean. He's badass, getting ready to take care of business. Don't want to run into him out there in the woodland area there. He's kind of out in the mountains of the Himalayas. He's charting around. He's going to make sure humans don't step into their turf because he's part of the bandit clan. And that's it. He might be looking for little prowlers. He might be getting ready to go into the lower wooded areas to go hunting. I'm not sure. Even though it's one tribe, sometimes the clans fight each other. They're not always so happy with each other. So that is how it goes. That's how it goes. So we're going to be doing a drawing, but in order to do a drawing, you got to type Yeti. When you win, you got to have your Zaman wallet ready, because you got to have the Zaman wallet. That's how we're going to transfer it over through the we're going to transfer that over through the XRP.cafe. And if you don't know what XRP.cafe is, well, guess what? That's where these are right there. See, XRP.cafe. That's what houses all these great things over there in the or transactions. I don't say they're housed there per se, but you can definitely see them. All these guys are on the XRPL, and you can even find them over there on the XRPL, which is very cool. So you can find them, you can search them. So let's go on here, right? So library's gone. Ripple spent over 150 million in legal fees. I'm going back to Deaton. That's $150 million. 150 million that they didn't invest. They didn't put towards innovation. They didn't hire anyone. They didn't do anything but protect themselves, defending themselves against Gary Gensler. Non-fraud case, 2 American entrepreneurs, Brad Garlinghouse and Chris Larson. Chris Larson gave $5 million in XRP to Kamala Harris. Brad Garlinghouse gave $5 million plus in XRP to the inauguration of Donald Trump, and super stoked about the direction the administration's going in, that is going to bring clarity, positive growth to the crypto space. These guys were individually sued in an attempt by those same bad faith regulators to bully and intimidate them. The two entrepreneurs not intimidated got their case dismissed because the cases lacked merit after incurring more than $15 billion in losses. $15 billion. 75,000 users and investors joined the case. Retirement accounts holding XRP were frozen, if you guys remember that, right? Coinbase, all the exchanges. You know who didn't? Uphold. Uphold still allowed transaction of XRP, and they said, why? Because we don't deem it a security. And until there's a clear case, Uphold wasn't making a change. But you know who did? Coinbase, unfortunately. Coinbase also, it's traded publicly. So regardless of what Brian Armstrong said, they had no choice at the time because they were publicly traded to make a decision. It also took that, if you think back in like 2018, it took Coinbase forever to list XRP. 2017, 2018. Some American businesses didn't work with Ripple out of fear of alienating the SEC. During the case, those same bad faith regulators used tactics threatening Ripple's overseas partners. The SEC recently filed an appellate brief, and legal fees continue to climb. They're not done yet. Gary Gensler's so proud of himself, right? We talked about it yesterday. I was like, man, the guy's an asshole, right? I'm like, why is he doing that? And I'm like, oh, because he's an asshole, right? And that's why he's doing it. But then if he didn't do it, right, for himself, he's like, man, I'm done, right? I'm leaving on the 20th or the 21st, whatever his last day is. I'm leaving. But he's like, but if I didn't file these lawsuits, didn't go after Elon Musk and file lawsuits and, bring this, file this appellate brief, he goes, I'll be a complete asshole because I'm not doing what people expect of me. That's Gary Gensler. That's my take on it. But here you go. 2021, SEC accelerated Coinbase's IPO before granting acceleration. The SEC had to make a determination doing so as was in the public interest. They granted the IPO 2 years later, right? Only 2 years after finding it was in the public's best interest. Those same bad faith regulators decided to sue Coinbase, saying their entire business model was illegal after they accelerated and gave them the permission to do it. So AP Cool J, the previous administration, with their unelected bureaucrat that they handpicked to lead the SEC to take charge to decimate and undermine, or at least, if you want to stay positive, slow it down, right? So that their financial partners, their financial institutions, and their banks could catch up or try to take over the market. That's the only way you could live. They're trying to destroy it or slow it down in time for them to take it over. But they were decimating companies along the way. Now we're going to have a completely different outlook. So here we have the SEC granted the SEC's motion. The trial judge allowed Coinbase to ask the Second Circuit to grant an interlocutory appeal. The legal fees, tens of millions, and John saying if it hasn't passed 100 million. So let's say $250 million spent between Coinbase and Ripple, let's say. How much money has the U.S. government spent on prosecuting these? That's another question. Like a huge amount of money has been spent actually prosecuting these, which is insane. So after agreeing to pay, this is Kraken, right? They paid a $30 million fine. The unstaked assets staked by U.S. investors, damaging U.S. investors again. Kraken believed it was buying peace. They said, we'll cooperate. We're going to work with you. Just like Gary said, just come in. Okay, we'll come in. But after giving them so-called peace, the bad faith regulators sued Kraken anyways. Kraken and Coinbase, two major exchanges in this country. And you can't tell me they weren't trying to decimate innovation in this space. Then going after Ripple, which is the biggest company that's involved in utilizing blockchain and crypto in their platform, and directly going to work with banks and directly targeting to replace Swift or be a direct competitor of Swift. There was a bullseye target on these companies. But look at what they did. They went after Coinbase. Coinbase is shocking because it went IPO. They're traded publicly. To go and be traded publicly, they have to look at every little detail because that's what the SEC does. Then to come in 2 years later and say, no, sorry. Well, we're just kidding. You guys are actually, everything you do is illegal, right? Here's another one. Dragon Chain. They have a court date later this month. And again, no fraud. Considering it originated out of Disney, you don't get any more American than Dragon Chain. After the lawsuit was filed by the SEC, the company's ability to conduct business operation became more than hindered, almost impossible. Another American entrepreneur has spent almost all of his funds on legal battles. The company's, it could be that could be the end. The trial may start soon, and John is going to go there. But if all of his money is going in legal fees and the trial hasn't even started yet, and he's already going to be wiped out. So John ends this. And I think this really needs to be an appeal because Trump is ushering in this golden age, said that we're moving into a golden age, has embraced crypto. The House, the Senate is the most pro crypto House and Senate ever. Now, all this could have been avoided if Maxine Waters, who controlled the Financial Services Committee back in 2017 and 2018, 2019, 2020, when Warren Davidson presented the Token Taxonomy Act, which we've covered here exclusive in exclusive detail. We didn't cover it exclusively. A lot of people talked about it, but in our exclusive detail, the one thing that's always comes out of this is that Chip and I always seem to be on the right side of things. We always analyze things, and we always seem to be right about our analysis. Obviously, we might make some mistakes along the way, but as we look at things like this, always, seem to have the right outcome. And we could have avoided all this. They could have had a little bit of regulatory clarity. There could have been some rules on the road. Warren Davidson wanted to make an amendment to the Securities Exchange Act of 1933, the Securities Act of 1934, Tax Code Act from 1986. And then there were a few other acts that interspersed in that Token Taxonomy Act. We had covered it and read it, analyzed it, talked about it. And the thing is, it was presented in front of the Financial Services Committee. Guess how much discussion it got? Zero. Never got discussion, never went to a vote, never came out of committee. It was sent there, died in committee. Why? Because Maxine Waters could care less. Back then, nobody knew about crypto. We didn't have like 60% or 70% of them understanding crypto and becoming more passionately involved with it. It didn't exist. But it all just died. But we could have avoided so much of this. There could have been some rules. And so this, I think, it really says everything. And it's the last 4 years is what we've experienced. We've experienced an administration that has directly opposed and tried to undermine. And now here we are, we're moving into the most amazing thing, right? It's just like, we're moving now. This is it, right? This is the embodiment. It's amazing, right? It's really, really amazing. So Visual Vendetta, dang, Jeff, you're putting a tear in my eye with what you've been saying. The previous administration definitely was freaking corrupt. That's it. But for people to say that they weren't, for people to say, okay, for people that badmouth Trump going into this election cycle to say, well, I can't support him because of whatever. It made no sense to me. This is again why so many people, billionaires, Democrats, independents, non-party affiliates, so many of them moved over to the MAGA movement because they understood, right? It wasn't nationalist from a racist perspective. It was national support of you want the best for your country, and people understood it. And then you look back at your portfolio that was destroyed, 4 years ago, and economic times and business building and just everything. You guys know, you lived through it just like I lived through it. But then to say, I want 4 more years of that, like what insanity, just craziness. And so now to say, and going back to that AP Cool J, whatever, I just don't understand where people are coming from. Because if you stack up all of the facts, then you know the direction we're going in, because they said this is what we're going to do. Here's how it's going to happen. And it's going to happen. We saw it in the 4 years of Trump. We were drilling. Oil was cheap. There were no wars around the world. There was stability. The Middle East was coming into alignment. Israel and Arab countries were signing peace treaties at an unprecedented clip that would have brought the Middle East into a singular vision of economic prosperity in the region. And that was all just destroyed, decimated within the first year of Biden coming into office, because he undid everything that was set in those first 4 years in the Middle East. In the Middle East, that region has resources, has money, has oil, has passion. And you pull it all together and you have peace, then you allow Saudi Arabia and Dubai and some of these other Arab countries to work in tandem with Israel out in the open, so they don't have to do it behind the scenes anymore. Because, over the years, these countries have worked with Israel in different ways, and they've done trade, but they just can't do it out in public. But to do it out in public, and Saudi Arabia was close. And then it was all undermined. What's happened with Russia? So Russia, Iran, and some of these other countries were emboldened and enriched in the last 4 years. Iran was a fragment. It was a shell. It had no money. We got to reduce the price of the barrel of the oil, because that's Russia's economy and the Iranian economy rely on the barrel. That's it. If it's cheap, they don't have a lot of money. If you embargo them, or now there's other ways to work around it, we got to be smart. People, stuff doesn't just happen in a vacuum, and people think everything just happens in a vacuum, that crypto is a vacuum and the financial markets are a vacuum and trade is a vacuum and development is a vacuum, and none of it has anything to do with politics. And at the end of the day, politics impact everything we do on a global scale, from innovation to development, to investment, to friendly trade environment, just everything, every aspect of it. And you got to be able to connect the dots. And when you connect the dots, you realize we are about to step into this gold. I've been positive the last 4 years. I was saying it's horrible right now. Trump's going to win in 4 years. We've got to be able to come out of it. We got to stay focused. We got to stay. And as the years went by, the past 4, I knew more and more that we weren't going to continue another 4. Why? At the end of the day, people all want the same thing. They want freedom. They want what's best for their family. They want to find a way to make money, and they don't want a lot of expensive shit. They want cheap gas or inexpensive. They don't want the cost of eggs and milk to be, out of proportion with income. They don't want their housing to be out of proportion with income. Like, they don't want taxes to be out of proportion with reality. They don't want government to just spend into oblivion. They don't want wars all over the world and instability and lack of peace, because people want to travel and see the world. That's the coalescing, and it had to happen. What happened the past 4 years, I said from day one, this had to happen. It's unfortunate, but people did not appreciate what we had. As soon as you risk losing what you had, you begin to appreciate it, you realize it, you then fight even harder to maintain it. And that's it. That's the lesson that we can all take out of it, and why I was able to stay super positive through it all. So that's my take. I've ranted now for an hour. You guys had to listen to me rant for an hour. I didn't even get to play any of the videos that we put aside, and I'm trying to, I'm watching your commentary and I'm just ranting, maybe ranting in my own head. Needed it, but I think it was positive all the same. I'm glad John Deaton put those posts up there. It galvanizes the thought process even further. So there we go. That's how it is. Zober, well, Jeff, nice haircut or lighting, nice lemon tree. It's the lemon tree. Look how amazing the lemon tree is. Fresh, juicy lemons. Gotta make you gotta make lemonade out of the lemons that you're dealt. That's the whole point of the lemon tree, right? You got the lemons. Everybody knows we got lemons. Let's make lemonade. Should have a pitcher of lemonade, and then everything is amazing. But you need the if you don't have you can't make lemonade without the lemons. You got to have lemons. That's the whole point of all of this. That you got to have the lemons. And you put a little sugar on lemons and they're amazing. But you might just love the taste of lemons too. I don't know. So, all right, we got to do the drawing too. And some people have left. They're not even going to be able to participate. Let me see what we got. Okay, we have 20. That's fair. We can do it with 20 if you guys have already got you've already got your name in there, then that's okay because it only counts once. And so we are going to get it going. There we go. Fresh and juicy, just like my head. That's right. And don't forget to have your address ready. Why? Because as soon as we're done here, we're going to transfer this bad boy over to you through the XRP.cafe to your Zaman wallet. And that's how it's going to be. So get your Zaman wallet ready, get the address ready, and then we're going to do this drawing and we're going to share the screen and we're going to watch it happen. And the Bills 27, Ravens 19, and that's how that happens. That's how that works, just like that. Get some Badass Yeti coffee. Go to badassyetis.coffee.com. And if you go to the Discord and you have a Badass Yeti and you love the coffee, go to verify your Yeti. If you don't know how to do it, ask us. Verify the Yetis, and then discounts pop up. You'll see Badass Yeti coffee. And then depending on the number of Yetis you have, they'll pop up a discount. So should work, should be good. And that's it. So let's do the drawing. Let us do this. Here we go. You guys ready? I'm ready to do this because it's like, it's 1-1-1. I missed. I wish I would have seen it 1-1-1-1, but it was exactly 1 hour, 11 minutes. That's a good sign. It's a good number. Love the number. You got to love the 11s when you see 11-11 or 1-11. It's the best. Then I have to rely on 23-23 because I use the 24-hour clock. So 23 is my 11 p.m. But there we go. Okay. When that happens. Here we go. Ready? We're going to hit draw. When moon, Van Life Biker. That's what we're talking about. Who's going to win? Here we go. Here we go. Oh, man. It was so close. John Doe Crypto. So you have to be here to win. So number one, John Doe Crypto. Make sure you say, hey, I'm here. John Doe Crypto. You have to be here. You have to have your wallet ready. And that was close for a couple of you guys. But John Doe Crypto, I know you were here earlier. Just say, hey, I'm here. And I'm gonna say, hey, I want that Badass Yeti. So let me just post it in here. John Doe Crypto, are you here? Another John Doe. That's it. Got so many John Does. John Doe Crypto, calling John Doe Crypto. Dakota, good luck at the hospital. Busy times you had mentioned earlier. One day we'll talk about medical stuff. We can dig into that. Be interesting. Might have to do it in a separate conversation. I'm sure not everybody wants to hear all about the medical industry. So John Doe Crypto, are you here? Is John Doe Crypto here? John Doe Crypto, is he here? Does anybody see John Doe Crypto? Because we're going to say it one more time and then you guys know what happens. We're going to have to redraw if John Doe is not here. Just how we roll. Let me see here. I don't see John Doe Crypto here. All right. Here we go. John Doe going once, going twice, going 3 times. Pablo does not regret voting for Trump. That is not a possibility. I saw your post the other day. Come on. All right, here we go. We're going to have to do this again. We got to redraw. There's no John Doe. Here we go. Get ready. Who's it going to be this time? Let's go. Draw again. All right, here we go. We are going. Who's it going to be? Oh, Cash Velocity. That's a good one. Cash Velocity. So now let's see if Cash Velocity's here. I know Cash was here earlier, obviously, chimed in and said Yeti. So now we got to put this out there. Cash Velocity, are you here? Van Life Bikers here. Come on, Cash Velocity. Congratulations, Cash Velocity. Oh, you're here. I saw it. Okay, you're here. There you go. Which Yeti's being given away? Man, it is a badass bandit. So Cash Velocity, throw in your Zaman wallet address. Good job, Cash Velocity. Winner, way to go, Cash. This is the bad boy right here. Who are Mike? This is it. Look at this thing. Man, Ken's YouTube was also close on that last one, but Cash Velocity, also a supporter here of the channel. You can see by that little extra graphic next to his name, supporter here on the channel, which is very cool. Man, this is a bandit. So this is very, very cool. Look at that guy. That is nice. I like that one. I do like it a lot. And then we'll wait for Cash Velocity. Make sure you throw in your address. If it filtered it, then I'm going to have to see if I can pull it up in a different way. Let's see here. That means I got to go to regular YouTube. Cash Velocity, if you have put it in there, let me know. If you have not, we'll wait for it to come through. And then I am going to open up regular YouTube. YouTube likes blocking these things, even though we're like, hey, this is in our chat. You have AI. You should be listening to everything we say. Because I was watching the rally on RSBN earlier, and you know what? They said Trump had said something, and they terminated the stream for RSBN earlier and said, policy violation, violated some whatever policy, and boom, stream canceled. Just like that, RSBN terminated. And that was that. That is how YouTube rolls. Just terminate people midstream. That's what happened to us that one time. I was streaming and deleted. There it is. I found it. I see it. It's in there. Let me grab it. Cash. Grabbing it right now. Gonna transfer this bad boy over to you. Let's see. Let us go to the transfer. Gonna put this bad boy in here, but I'm gonna have to just unshare this for 1 second while we do it. Gonna transfer it over. Pulls up the QR code for me to accept. I am then going to, I gotta open my Zaman wallet here. Hit the blue button, hit the scan QR code. Boom, now it's already transferred. Now I gotta go and slide the acceptance of the transfer. It is now, I gotta authenticate thumbprint. Now it is transfer submitted. It's verifying and done. That's how fast it is. Look at that. Boom, done. Now Cash Velocity is a proud owner of this badass Yeti. It's yours. That's it. Now you just got to accept it. So how cool was that? How cool was that? That was very cool. Yeah, Tina, I think you were on. That was it. In the middle, streaming, having a good conversation. We're having fun. And then Chip calls me up. He was traveling. And Chip's like, hey, what happened? You're not streaming anymore. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm streaming. And I think I was still streaming to X while we're having the conversation. So that was when it was Twitter. I don't know. Now we get a lot more people watching over on X than on YouTube. It's amazing how many people watch us over on X, even though the the way the platform is over on X for video makes it a little complex because they disappear after a while. And there's no easy way to find them, et cetera, et cetera. So anyhow, that was what in the community. You guys were amazing. Community hammered on Twitter, went after the CEO of YouTube and just went after them, other YouTubers in the space, everyone. And we filed a petition and they finally came back. It took like 48 hours. They're like, oh, we're sorry. We apologize. We investigated and you guys didn't do anything wrong. Like, really? We knew that, but they have the auto listeners, but somehow they can't get rid of the spam that pops up on our thing. Tomorrow brings a new day. We can all stand proud. Life is going to be amazing. Life's already amazing. It's going to be that much more amazing. Let's put it that way. Things are looking up, financially speaking, crypto market speaking, stock market speaking. The markets are going to be amazing. Oil, gas prices will start coming down, which we definitely need when you're going to fill your tank and you have a 24-gallon tank and you got to fill it up, and it hurts a little bit every time you go and you have to fill up. That really sucks. Really, really sucks. Pablo, yeah, we were just talking about that earlier. All the different issues that can happen. But man, so that is it. That's what we got for tonight. We'll be back here on Wednesday. Wednesday is going to be fun because Wednesday, the 22nd, we are going to have some fun. Van life, man, you have a 24-gallon tank also? That's crazy. Yep. How'd you know my tank was 24? 24. Mine's like, maybe it's like 23 and change or whatever. It's filling up today. I thought it was like a little over a quarter filled. Man, diesel. No, I can't put diesel. But it's nice too, because you can go, I have an opportunity. I can put 87 occasionally, typically premium. You have to put premium to clean through it, but you can run it on 87 without any issue. Big, 8-cylinder. You shouldn't, V8. You probably shouldn't run 87, but based on everything that I've read, you can do that. And it's crazy. But man, I thought it was like, and it was just kept filling and filling. I thought it was like a quarter filled and it just kept going. I was like, man, I think it was like 18 gallons I put in. So yeah, that's it. GMC Elevation. I have a Yukon, so I'm not, what is the Elevation? Is that a pickup truck? Oh, it's a half ton. Oh, that's where you put it right there. Got it. Nice. All right. Well, that's all I've got. That's all we've said. We'll check you guys back out on the next one Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's what I was talking about. Start out on the 22nd. We're going to have some amazing things to talk about. We'll go over and look at some of those executive orders, see if there are any crypto executive orders signed for Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we'll see how that all flows and how that goes. And that's it. 23 miles to go. Not terrible. We got 50. Man, yeah, we got to talk about cars. I like looking at the cars. Be fun to talk about cars. Get people fired up on that. So that's it. That's all I got. And we'll check you guys out on the next one. How are we going to get some good out? There it is. Go with the new outro. I like that the intro with that guitar. So let's just go regular outro. Check you guys out on the next one.
Are you down with OTC? Please like, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified when the next video drops.
Forgot to end the